What's going on, folks? Trumpster Bob here. Let's do it. Some of you may know that I'm working on a voters list. We're definitely cutting out that echo, right? Okay, here's the way this works. I gotta pull up one of my sites here. Where'd it go? There it is. Okay, this is where I am putting the voters list. I'm gonna turn my screen around so those eyeballs don't get dizzy. Trumpsters and Conservatives. Find this at trumpstersandconservatives.com. Pretty easy to find. And I'll just hit my blog. Takes me over there. Then you go to Trumpsters and Conservatives voting list. You click on that and it brings you to a voting list. It's pretty simple to do most of them. You can go to Wikipedia and look up who they are in your state. And you want to definitely do the federal level at a minimum. As you can see here, I only did one person in Hawaii because I seen the name pop up and what she's for. So definitely for her. And then here's Texas, where of course we got to help Ted Cruz get into office for senator because the other guy is a crooked individual. And then the House of Representatives, well, there's a lot of them, right, running for office this year. Now, if I didn't like either candidate, for instance, in a district where there is not a conservative running for office or a Republican conservative even, I'll just put none. So we don't care who you vote for in that district because you people are kind of screwed. We'll have to try to battle in those areas 2 years from now. Okay, what we have here is District 1. I actually have a Democrat's name up there, believe it or not. The rest of them, as you can see, are Republicans. And then I got an independent here because the Democrat is evil. And then got some more Republicans here and another Democrat. Why? Because the Republican is owned by Sunlight. or a Muslim or something like that. So what I'll do is if I find that they're being funded by either Sunlight or CARE, which is easy to find out doing your searches, I'm not going to support that person. Okay, that's pretty simple. And the Democrat shows to be more of a Christian, then of course at that point in time, I got to put the Democrat's name on there to keep Mr. Evil out of the office. It's sort of, sometimes it's the lesser of the two evils. And then you continue to go down the list, most all of them are Republicans. So this is not just a straight Republican list that I'm making. This is a conservative Christian list. As a Christian, who would I rather see in office? And can I support one or the other? Or do I really need to support one to keep the other one out of office? Of course, in Virginia, I put Corey Stewart on there. That's a given. I need somebody to do that state, actually, in Hawaii and all the other states. And these are the special elections that are going on this year. I've already got them done, as you can see. All these elections, of course, November 6th. New York has one, the 25th district. Pennsylvania in their 7th district. Pennsylvania again in the 15th district. U.S. Senator from Minnesota, we want, again, another Republican. Karen Housley. This is who, as a Christian, if you do your research, you should be voting for. These are the people. Nobody else. This is it. And right now, we need to get this list up for as many states as we can. So if you're concerned about your state and the people that will be involved in your state, you can go to Trumpsters and Conservatives voting list, and you will actually let me show you something. Hold on. This is one of my emails, my newest email. This is not where you need to send the list. Trumpsters and Conservatives at gmail.com is actually where you need to send the list. So if you send me the list, your voters list, through email right here, I will get your voters list at trumpstersandconservatives.com, because I check this like every day almost. And as you can see, I marked down here where the last one is that I checked. And I'm fixing to have to make a payment on my website, no big deal. So as you can see, GoDaddy always sending me stuff. So there you have it. Now you know where to send me your voters list and how to get involved. You can send me a list, or you can get involved in what is going to end up being a regular chat right here on YouTube. And what I'll be doing from time to time, obviously, we're going to do it more and more the more people get involved. And we can even hold private chats when, if needed, to where that's where I go and invite you into a private chat. And like there could be 8 of us, 10 of us, 20, 30, doesn't matter. And we just have a private chat. I don't know if that's actually required or needed, but you can chat with me right here, either while I'm live, when I'm doing the voters list videos, or after I've done the video. You can simply pop up and say, hey, I would like to help out. What do I need to do? And then I can bring you into a private chat and explain it to you and show you what to do if you can't figure it out or don't know what to do. And it's really easy. These lists are really easy to make. It's just a lot of people. So it can take you an hour to 2 hours to actually do a good part of the list. And it might take you 2 days to do it, like 2 hours one day, an hour the next day, sort of thing. I'm not done with my voters list for Texas. That's just what I've done so far that I finished that I can actually post. As I finish more lists, obviously I'm going to post more up there for my state. Because not only do we want to keep Texas red, but we want to keep Texas Christian. Want to make sure people are aware of who the damn Muslims are and who not to vote for. Now, let's face it, you're better off having a Democrat in office than a freaking Muslim. Because Muslims will try to propose bills like, hey, let's lower the age of sex. How about we not build the wall so my family can export captives into slavery into Islam, which is one of their main businesses. After all, the number one money-making industry in Islam is abducted people, abducted children. A lot of people aren't aware of that, and that's not something you hear on mainstream news. But you will hear me talking about it. Because they don't pay my paycheck. You know what I'm saying? Nah, that's my retirement pays my paycheck. That's the way it happens when you work your whole life. So if you're interested and you're really concerned about who gets elected into your states, I encourage people to get out and help us with this voting list. That means you sit right on your PC, look through the list, look up a couple of Republicans, and well, it might be one at this point, right? One Republican, one Democrat. Look at the Republican first, see who they are, what they're about. You can do a search, punch your name in, and put Muslim Care, MAS, one at a time, and just see if they're being funded. You can look up and find out who's funding them, and then go from there. And if you have any questions during your searches and you finish your list, but you got a question about 2 or 3 people, I can jump in and help you with that. Okay, so it's really not hard, and most of them is going to be a no-brainer, right? So you might have a few you might need a little help with, a little input. We can help each other with those things because it's only going to be a few, maybe a handful at most, right? So we can do these things. And your list is probably not going to be near as big as mine here in Texas because Texas has a lot of representatives. Same thing with California, has an enormous amount of representatives. I would hate to have to do California alone. That might happen. I might end up having to do that. But I want to concentrate on the states that we need to concentrate on first. And people can greatly help me and reduce how many states I have to personally do if I can get maybe 10 to 20 people in here to help me with the voters list. Because we got 50 states. If you get 10 people, we all have to do 5 states. If we get 20 people, of course, that gets cut down to 2 to 3 states apiece we have to do. If we get 30 people, of course, that greatly cuts it down, right? So it would be really good if people in their own states who believe that Christians can best run this country, which I think it's a proven fact at this point, that better than any other religion or any other belief or any other people. You can also look at their voting records. If you're, that's one thing you might really want to look at. You can do a search on bills approved or sponsored by these individuals if they have a proven track record. If they've never been in office, you might ask me for a little help there. Because, like, for example, I just happen to know who Peter Boykin is in North Carolina. He's the guy that was part of the Angie Peterson scam. Both times. Don't forget that. $10,000 each time for a total of $20,000. She literally stole from people who donated to her to hold 2 separate rallies. So don't forget that. She is a big time con artist and her ass belongs in a federal penitentiary. If I had donated even $1 to her, then I would probably have a right to file charges against her. Anybody who took any donations from Angie Peterson, I highly urge that you go file charges against her. And if you can get even a smallest investigation into her activities there, it would lead to bigger charges. Because you're not allowed to take donations from people to even hold a rally or an event and then not hold it and keep the money. That's called fraud. It's part of the antitrust law, and it is a felony on both accounts, especially when it's $10,000, not once but twice. So she could really get a lot of charges put on her ass, and she should. People actually have gone to prison for doing what she did, not once but twice. So Peter Boykin was a part of that whole scheme. It was a group of about 5, 6, or 7 gay people that were involved in trying to scam people out of money. Then when Angie said, well, I'm just going to keep it all for myself, and she didn't share any of the money, then they kind of got mad and broke up. But the second time around, she still had a couple who was in their original group helping her portray the scam. And in fact, she got away with it again. Now, whether she shared any money with those other two or not, the first time or second time, that remains to be seen. What we do know is that there was never a rally thrown by her, and she never gave the money back. In fact, she cried about it and said, I'm sorry, I just blew it all. Actually, she was crying because she ran out of money and needed to pull the scam again. And she, in fact, did. So we need to watch out for people that don't have any voting record. And in fact, if you do your searching, like on Peter Boykin, you can do a search right now, Peter Boykin, gay porn, and you can read all about it, folks. That's all the man has ever done in his life for a living, is gay porn. So we want to keep people like that out of office because he's not a Christian. He was involved in a scam, not once, but twice. And he might very well end up in prison himself if they actually ever do an investigation on that particular fraud case. So that's something to really think about. But what it's going to require is for maybe one or more people who are involved in that fraud case to come forward and tell the police that, yeah, we gave her money to hold a fraud. I gave her $20 or $50 or $100 or $500, whatever it was. And she never did hold a rally. Once that happens, they'll actually run a story about it. And then more people will say, oh, yeah, maybe, hey, we can get together and sue her ass. And some more people will come out and come forward. And then she's going to have a lot of people saying, yeah, we donated that girl and she never did throw a rally. And there you have it. And once they start doing an investigation, if Peter Boykin got any money out of that deal, his ass will be up on charges too, because he was part of the little fraud scam that was going on. Now, I do know there's one girl, I forgot her name, maybe 2 of them. I know one for sure who ended up being against all that. But who else was a part of that little gang? Never Hillary Lee. Big time con artist. And who did she hang around? The AFK and somebody else. Well, we know what happened there too, right? So anyway, folks, donate a couple hours of your day, a week or something, right? Come out, help us out with the voting list. It's not hard. It won't take us long. All we got to do is get her done. And once we get the list done, good hardworking Americans, when they're doing a search who to vote for, the more we put this list out on the social sites, as soon as people do any kind of search for it, it'll pop up number 1 in their little search bracket. Definitely within 2 or 3 pages at first, and they can pull the list up, go to their state, copy it, print it, and when they go down there to vote, if any of their names are in their voting deal, they're going to vote for them. That's how that works. And if along the way we find anybody doing a fake fraudulent list, copying us, well, we can actually prove that list false, because it's easy to look up who's pro-abortion or who's anti-abortion. It's easy to look up who is pro-build the wall or who's against building the wall, right? And those kind of things. And there's a lot of things you can look up about people, even if they've never ran for office before. You'll be amazed. And because they actually have to talk about issues when they're running for office. And usually, more times than not, they give themselves up. Now, once you look at a source that's continuously supporting people like that, then you become to realize that anytime that source says, yeah, vote for this person, that person really trying to sneak somebody in on a Republican side. Like, for example, Will Johnson. If he ever supports anybody, then you know that you do not want to support that person for office, because the only people Will Johnson has supported for office are people that are everything against Christianity. Everybody against or pro-Muslim agenda or pro-Democrat agenda. They're against Donald Trump's agenda. So why would you want to vote for that person? That's what we've been had in office. That's what's got America in the mess it was in. You want to truly help fix America and make America even greater? You can get involved and help us with the voting list. It's not hard. We're the only people who do not have a voting list. And yet everybody walks around and complains, well, I ain't got to vote. Man, these people getting in office, man, they're removing statues, man, they're trying to take away our gun rights. You got no complaint. Basically, I'm telling you, just shut up. Because did you get involved in helping making any voters list? No, because there's in fact never been one. So if you're interested, come help out, and we can go from there and we can make it happen. Then if we lose a couple of elections, you can cry and pout over that. Maybe we didn't do a good enough job. Let's do better next time. At least we'll have a voters list, and it will probably help a lot of people on our side get elected into office as a result of that. So no matter who you are, no matter what side you're currently on, if you're a Christian and you look this up and it's in fact a Christian voters list, and they look it up and challenge it, they're going to say, yeah, this is a Christian list. And then they're going to use it. I want to talk about a walk-away campaign. This is a good way to do a walk-away campaign. Now you give people a reason to walk away. More so than just all the he said, she said BS. Of course, that all comes from the Democrats starting up them bag of lies, right? So I encourage people to get involved. All right. So we're kicking off the voting list right now. Let's make it happen.